that covers works for both national and international clients. I worked in India as well as in abroad. So my core area of specialization is SAP ABAP, Solution Manager, and SAP HANA. During that, since I am a Solution Manager, I have the knowledge on other SAP tools such as like SAP testing, SAP integration. So all those tools like I'm specialized and I do take training. So I'm basically work for a company and also I do freelancing activities. So my freelancing includes like I do training for SAP UK, SAP Malaysia, SAP Singapore, and during that I do many corporate training as well. So this is just a brief introduction about myself. And now we are going to see basically the session, the demonstration on SAP Solution Manager. So what is the solution? Today what we are going to basically discuss is like what is the Solution Manager, why SAP has introduced the Solution Manager, and like what is the need for SAP Solution Manager. And today we are just going to, today's agenda, what we are going to discuss is like what is meant by SAP Solution Manager, and why SAP needs the Solution Manager, and like how the future of SAP landscape when you use Solution Manager and why we need Solution Manager will also cover in that. That is like nothing but the future, the hazards, and the future of Solution Manager. So this is what we are going to basically discuss in our demo session. So the first thing is like what is basically the Solution Manager. Say for example, like you have an organization. So if you go for an SAP implemented organization, you have so many different processes in an organization. Let us not talk on SAP, like SAP running on SAP. Consider any organization for that matter. What you basically need is you need to have, first and foremost thing is the human resource, which will map all the employee information for a present organization. We will have a Salesforce team, which we call it as the sales team, which will go and get business for us. We will have an FI team. FI team is basically like they will look on the profits and loss of an organization, which is basically a backbone. But if you have only finance, that will not serve the purpose. You need to have the proper controlling of the inflow and outflow of money, so that you will understand whether your company is running on a profit or the company is running on loss. If it is running on loss, what is the remedy action you can take so that it can help for the betterment of the company. Then we also need materials such as like if you consider a simple cyber center. So the cyber center may need computer, that is materials. They need like the list of checklists of who people have entered and what, when they went out, and what is the current charges, all those they need to capture it. So that is basically materials. They need the desktop, they need laptop, they need this, they need the book. So all those come under materials. And for everything we need to have proper planning. So the planning is nothing but the strategy of what we are going to do. Either we can go for production planning, or we can go for project planning. So the planning is required. We will take in terms of planning. So these are all the core areas of any organization for to emerge or for sustainability also. And putting together in one single place, what we call it as an ERP. And all of us know like this is nothing but our SAP. SAP is also a ERP. So this will be our SAP. Now, this holds good for a small organization, which is very precise and which is very small. As organization grows on, the business processes of that organization will also start growing up. So since the business processes of that organization started growing up, SAP in course of time, what it did actually is, the sales has become so much large that they cannot able to control within SD. SD process basically starts from order to cash. So they will create a purchase order and they will end with invoicing. So this is basically order to cash, they call it in SAP. So the sales process will start from creation of purchase requisition. So it starts with PR creation and it ends with the amount they will get. So this comes in the basic SD. So the advanced version of SD, before after sales and before sales, all the process needs to be captured and stored. So SAP come up with a specialized tool which has more business process than SD, and they called that tool as CRM, that is customer relationship management. Similarly, has grown up to so much extent, it was very difficult for us to capture all those business within That is, starts with procure to pay. You will have the procurement. Your inventory needs something, and they will go for a procurement, and it will end up with payment. So has gone up to so much extent that before procurement, you need to do the vendor registration. Before vendor, you need to identify the potential vendor. So all those strategical business events they captured, and they were not able to do all those activities within So they have a new product called as SRM, Supplier Relationship Management. So I was just giving two examples. HR has gone up to so much extent, they created CPM. PP gone up to so much extent, they've gone for RPM, and PS has gone up to so much extent, they've gone to PPM, Portfolio and Project Management. Again, Portfolio and Project Management was submerged into C projects. So all this, many new tools, like many new servers came into an existence. In 2004, SAP started testing the difficulty. Now, as of now, SAP has around 52 different solutions, which is helping to run the business better to the customer. And customer, what they are generally facing is, if they want to execute a project, starting from the beginning to the end-to-end implementation of SAP, they don't have any monitoring tool which will capture all those information and store everything in one place, so that place acts as a repository for all the other solutions of SAP. Say, for example, you have a project. That project will start with typical vendor creation from CRM, and it ends with the vendor approval process. All those processes will submerge, and they will end with HCM. So you have your four solutions of SAP, which they need to get the data and insert the data. So if you don't have the proper monitoring tool, then you will go to the individual systems and you will not have the clear visibility of, okay, what this system is doing and what that system is doing. And situation goes worse when you have third-party tool as well as SAP, because you cannot, since an organization has SAP, you cannot force an organization to use only SAP. There might be a situation where the organization can go for third party. SAP HR is not up to some extent, so we have PeopleSoft. SAP SD is not up to some extent, we have People CRM. And PICO, Oracle Finance is there. So they can go for the collaboration tool or the third party tool also. And you need to have the IT in such a way, all the things can be collided and it can be stored in one single repository. And SAP was also facing so much difficulty on this, and they were just trying to identify how to overcome this difficulty and how to standardize all the process. For that, they came up with something called as SAP NetWeaver technology. So SAP NetWeaver is basically a platform on which all the softwares of SAP will be written, and all the standard procedures what SAP needs to be followed will be followed in this SAP NetWeaver. And this NetWeaver also was not up to the extent what SAP was looking, because if it is NetWeaver always suggests for a particular solution. If it is for a global solution, then SAP NetWeaver will not also have the clear visibility of all those information. For that, SAP came up with SAP Solution Manager. Shortly, we call it as Solman. Solman is basically SAP Solution Manager. And how Solman or Solution Manager helps in order to address the difficulty of an organization which runs heterogeneous IT management. Solman is basically based on something called as ITIL, Information Technology Infrastructure Library, which is a standard book which all the organizations who has an infrastructure for an IT, how they can manage the infrastructure. So Solution Manager is basically follows all the rules and regulations as prescribed and specified in ITIL. So solution manager is basically an IT tool which will have this cycle, what I'm going to explain. So let me draw the diagram for that. So consider this is your ECC system, enterprise core component, which is the basic ECC system. And we have, in addition to ECC, in our organization, we have CRM also, customer relationship management. In addition to that, we also have SRM, supplier relationship management. We also have SCM, supply chain management. And reporting, I will take everything from my BI system. I have BI basically for reporting, and I do have portal as well to make all the things in browser based. So all the systems, you can consider how many solutions, SAP solutions our organization is having now. So solution manager will behave like this. So all the things, all the data, all the business processes, business strategies, changes, everything, incidents, everything you can club together and you can store it in one global repository, which we call it as the SAP Solution Manager, which will have the clear visibility of what are all the list of things which is happening in an organization, in and out information of an organization. So all this information will be captured and stored in one golden repository, what we call it as the SAP Solution Manager. So here our solution manager comes into picture. So now we will look some more things in the solution manager, like how the solution manager can combine everything. Now, the first and foremost, if you want to implement SAP, then most of us know, like we create something called as ASAP methodology. We follow something called as ASAP, accelerated SAP, which is an SAP proprietary method of executing a project. So we will follow ASAP methodology. So what happens? First, the business consultant and the SAP consultant sit together and they will define what is the business, like what is the requirement, how the business needs to be addressed, all those information they will sit together and they will do. So generally we call this as general documentation. And once the general documentation has been designed, what happens is the SAP consultant will come separately. He will be basically a solution architect. What he does is he will try to map how best we can bring all those information into SAP. Some of the times there might be criticality of the customer which cannot be tagged into SAP. For that they will have something called as gap analysis. So they will identify the gap, then they will analyze the gap and they will fill the gap. So gap analysis they will do, or deviations they will do, and all those will be addressed in one what we call it as one document, what we call it as the BBP, that is business blueprint document. Then what happens is our ABAPer and our testing people and our functional consultants will do all the SQL configuration, development, creation of the enhancement, that is, all those they will do, and they will go for realization. Realization will be followed by the testing phase also. Then what happens, once testing and all everything is done, system is ready for the going live. So before going live, what happens, like we will identify the existing thing, something called as data migration happens. Say for example, the company is running in Tally till yesterday. Day after tomorrow you want to go for SAP. So you cannot lose every data, historical data, what you have stored in the past history. So you want to capture all those information. And you want to have SAP also. So SAP has provided something called as data migration tool, where all those existing data will be captured and stored in SAP. So those data migration activity will happen. That is what we call it as final preparation, basically the fourth stage, and the fifth stage is go live. So this is very typical business way, or the SAP standardized way in order to implement SAP. So this is how most of the companies follow the procedure of implementing SAP. So what happens is like they want to implement SAP, and unfortunately they have multiple tools to implement. So they need to capture all those information. They need to capture all those whatever the list of things they have done, and they need to document everything. There might be a situation where they can go for third-party integration as well. So to address all this, solution manager has been defined. So in solution manager, you have one tool or one set of business logic called as project management, where you can define a project in solution manager. The project is a SAP implementation. Then you will identify the set of business processes. The business processes may be for a specific solution, because we'll have an RFP connection for individual solutions. So you can have the RFP connection as well, so that you will speak to individual systems. So the project management is a place where you capture all the existing business processes, business scenarios, business requirements, documents, and all those information you will capture. So the project management you can use as a tool which will capture all those information. The second thing we have something called as test management. So before your developer or your functional consultant has done everything, now what he wants is you want to move it into production. You cannot take a risk of moving the things which is not being tested. So situation goes faster. Every 3 months once you want to make a change. So you may need to automate some of the things. For that there are certain automation tools, test automation tools which is available in market products, HPQTC, HPQC, load runner. Now something is coming up to called as Selenium. So all those testing tools are available. The solution manager gives the province of using those third-party testing tools, which can be used as an integration with solution manager, so that you can generate the test script and test your application here in SAP itself, so that you will have all the data visibility end-to-end in SAP. So testing is also a part of solution manager. Now comes once your product went live, and the later stage, people have identified that you are not handling some situation. Because of it, there is the system is going for down. Particular transaction code is going for down. Then they will raise a ticket against the problem, and that problem needs to be addressed. So what we call it is the ticket, the ordinary ticket procedure which most of the companies follows. In solution manager, we can capture everything through incident management. In incident management, people will identify what is the incident, why exactly that incident has happened, and what is the remedy for the incident. Now, organization is going very smooth. Salary procedure, we consider every 6 months once, in standard process, every 6 months once there will be an appraisal cycle. Now, the company business says like 3 months once I need to have a appraisal. Then they need to make the change in standard SAP. So that change, why this change has been made, what is the use of those change, and when to make those changes. All those things needs to be why the changes has been made, till when this change is valid, until when this change can be overcome, and why we need this change. All those documentation we need. So SAP provides something called as change management in solution manager, so that you will have all those information of the change log, or how the change has happened, why the changes has happened. So it is now becoming like we will create a change request. We can create an individual change request in individual target system as VCC here on SRM. But if you configure SAP Solution Manager, you can create a change in Solution Manager. Then that change will go and sit in the target system, so that you will have the clear visibility why this change has been made. Again, that change testing has been made, and what is the root cause for this change. The root cause for this change is basically an incident which was created, because of which there is a deviation, and this deviation is achieved through the change management. And in addition to that, I have the testing case which has been passed. So this change management comes into picture. And we also have something called as template management or safeguard management. So template is basically each organization will have their own way of executing the project. So they can refer this template management, which will act like a global reference for them to do all the activities. So this template management also we can use, so that okay, you have designed a standard template and this is what you need to follow. And once the SAP is going live, we cannot say like all the things are going in perfect. There might be a deviation, there may be problem. For that, you have so many monitoring tools called as business process monitoring, technical monitoring, root cause analysis. All those will come under the monitoring management. So you have the better visibility of, okay, this is the thing which is happening and this is the reason for happening. So the tool which has all those things in one place, the solution manager is also a server which can have the data visibilities of all the servers and put it in one place so that you will have a clear visibility of how the things are happening. The solution manager has two procedures. One is SAP, which covers project management and template management. And one more thing, run SAP, which is like, if you want to run SAP, you need to have the certain things. To run SAP, you have incident management, change management, test management, business process monitoring, technical monitoring, root cause analysis, and all those things come under the run SAP methodology. So all these things are combined together and it is defined in solution manager. Solution manager, on basis of all this, is now called as ALM. It is not just a management tool, it is an application lifecycle management tool. From the beginning of the application, from the birth of application, starting from business blueprint or it may be general documentation, till the application goes for depth. That is like we are going to stop this application and we are going to scrap this and create a new application. So all this can be tracked, stored, retrieved, and information can be processed by using Solution Manager. That is why SAP Solution Manager 7.1 is called as the ALM, Application Lifecycle Management. So that is a major difference between SAP 7.1 and 7.4. 7.0 is basically only a solution manager, and 7.1 is an application lifecycle management, which is more than a solution tool itself. So now we have addressed these two things, like what is solution manager we know, why we need solution manager. Now we will see the new thing, the big data, or how the solution manager, what is why SAP has made this solution manager in this architecture. So I was a part of SAP Center of Excellence Solution Manager also. So I know some of the information regarding that as well, like why the things is happening like that. So recently we had a ticket also. So people explained, SAP has explained the same thing over there. So why they want to build the solution manager as an ALM tool, what is the future, how it will be. So now let us have the glimpse of what I think why we need this kind of architecture, what is the future, how the things is going to be. So now the things is going to be like this. We are going to have all the servers, as I told. We'll have different servers. As I told, we have different set of servers. Let us consider this as GCC, SRM, CRM, SCM, and all those servers we will consider. And these servers will have their own data actually. So those data and all will be captured in one place called as BI. Those data will be captured in their particular database. But if the manager wants to see all those information, then the historical data will go and put it in BI system. So they will have their own database, and in addition to that, they will have the BI database. So what happens is, like, the manager of the company wants to see the annual sales report of that company. So what he does is, he will go into BI and he will have the crystal report which extracts all those information from input, use, and process. Then this details will go and set it in BI system. So you have all the different servers here. Now you will have a solution manager here which has both server information, and this BI can be directly integrated with solution manager, and this solution manager can be integrated with the target system. So how the flow will happen is, both the target system and the BI will speak through solution manager, so that the data retrieval from heterogeneous systems based on the business processes can be fed into BI. Now we have one very big issue which needs to be addressed. This some hell lot of servers were applying load into BI. So the BI may go for toss. If you want to extract the information for task 1 year and if you want to fetch the report, BI may go for toss. For that, what SAP has designed, they came up with one tool called as BWA, Business Warehouse Accelerator, which is basically a tool what SAP has provided in order to accelerate the reporting of BI. Then that was also not working as SAP wished. So now, 2.5 years before, they came up with one more beautiful tool, which is based on the inline memory. That is, the data is being stored on in the history of the software evolution. The things are being stored in RAM and not on hard disk. Something called as HANA, high performance analytical appliances, which stores all the information and retrieves the information in milliseconds from hours. Whatever BWA did it in hours will be done in nanoseconds and milliseconds in HANA. So data retrieval is also fast. Now we are again there are lakhs and lakhs of data and security system is not guaranteed. For that, what SAP has done, SAP has purchased one tool called as SuccessFactors, which is basically the pioneer in something called as cloud computing. SuccessFactors is the pioneer in cloud computing. They actually introduced the cloud computing methodology. So this SuccessFactors or the cloud will have the direct data with the Sybase replication server, and this will speak to BI server. Now this HANA can be directly imported, and all those information can be again fitted into Solution Manager, not Solution Manager, ALM. So this HANA integration with ALM is also done, and it is being used globally as of now. So now you have the clear visibility. Again, we are not stopping on this. This person, he is not willing to sit in on computer and do all those activities. We want everything to be there in his hand whenever he wishes. For that, this BI data, we will have it in one tool called as Sybase. Sybase is basically a mobility tool which SAP has purchased, and this Sybase will have the direct connection with HANA system again. So because the replication server for a HANA system is a Sybase, and Sybase is known in market for mobility. So with a pocket internet or with a pocket device, this person will view all the information through SAP Mobility. And again, SAP Mobility has a direct integration with our Solution Manager. So this is actually the future. And this is how the current market things are happening. People are started implementing like this. So there are many success stories. Okay, Palmolive is a success story. Saudi Aramco is a success story. And there are so many success stories which companies are using SAP in a specified way. What I'm saying. So Apple is planning for this. There are so many other vendors, other companies, other partners of SAP is planning to use the solution in this way. So this is actually the thing, like starting from the big data, all the things happens here. So at the end, we can get all those big data, lakhs and lakhs of data in one pocket, like an iPad or an ordinary PDA. We can put all those information and we can use it. So this is basically the future of SAP by using SAP solution. So this is just an introduction, like how my training will be and what are all the list of things which I have been following. I'll be following the process of SAP training methodology, what SAP has prescribed in health.sap.com and training.sap.com. I have both theory as well as practices, and this is what I just want to have discussed. Hi, hello.